So here we are at the beginning of the spring interphase for La Grande Guerre. We're in 1917. Um, Having a lot of trouble pushing through at this point. Other addictions, and there's also a point with any game and where it becomes kind of difficult to force your way through. I think I may have gotten a little bit more of a head of steam than I'll go like a couple weeks without playing. So obviously there's a problem there, but luckily I don't have to share with anyone, so I can leave this set up. All right, so what happened? Not a lot, of course. Another big naval battle. I thought the Brits were out of it. I forget you can start channeling ships from Italy and France out of the Mediterranean into their fleet. And once again, the Brits lost, but the Germans had to retreat. So, it's sort of this tedious, long process. There's an expensive effort on both sides to maintain these navies. It's clearly worth it with British money, because otherwise Britain will surrender. On the German money, I don't know. It boosts their national will. They were up around 40, now they're in the mid-30s, which is very helpful in the ground combat. So I find it one of the better things you can spend your money on. But I am running into can't spend on tech anymore. Can't buy all those tanks that I want to without, some kind of effect here. And yeah, the Germans are buying tanks and assault troops at the same time. All right, military situation. French just kicked off their grand offensive in the west. It was just a little bit to the south of where they normally hit. And they tried a flash bombardment, thinking maybe they'd catch the Germans off guard, and they sort of did, but it wasn't enough, and they suffered a lot of casualties. The Swiss, they assaulted themselves into extinction, which probably isn't a good thing. Foch had to jump in there and try to save the capital. The Italians got silent, which is really good for them, and not too bad for Austria. But there's an Italian offensive planned for next turn. The Russian offensive had to be delayed because of the Swiss attack. The Russians couldn't attack Germany. There's a restriction on how many people can attack any one Central Powers unit country, and they needed a die roll to do it. They didn't get it. That Swiss attack is really unreasonable at this point. Like, it's always been a questionable idea. I forgot about that aspect. I forgot that the Russians are attacking the Germans this turn. Okay, but over on the Balkan front, a little bit of interesting stuff happened. Had a little bit of jockeying for position down here, where the Austrians gained some ground. Both the Romanians and the Serbs attacked and did poorly, which convinced the Bulgarians to attack, and they did even more poorly. The Russians did a ill-conceived attack in the Carpathians and lost a lot there. I believe the Greeks attacked the Turks. That didn't go too well for the Greeks. I mean, attacking in this game is so painful at this point, especially in the mountains. On the other hand, the British, although they took pretty heavy losses, also inflicted quite a bit and may be able to be moving forward in the Palestine region. The other armies halted, and the Turks under Yudenovich, or the Russians under Yudenovich, are pushing the Turks slowly back, and that's pretty much unstoppable. So, about it. Forgot to do anything in Africa. Things I think are pretty close to where they were before. I haven't fought out this turn, but the British Africa is hard to take, and Von Letow's good, but he's having trouble with the quantity of troops he's facing. He keeps wiping them out, though, so they're about equal at this point, so he may start getting the upper hand again. All right, it's time for an interphase. I don't know how long that's going to take me to cope with. Okay.